Welcome to Destination Deanna. I'm Deanna, love guide to all and kept wife strategist to the women I'm called to serve. Please consider my channel your self-help learning library for love. Join me every Monday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time for our weekly coaching gem, where I give guidance to elevate your love experience. And on Wednesdays at 1 p.m., tune in for Sounds About Wife, where I give my unique wife perspective and prepare professional women like you to become kept wives. So hit that subscribe button and let's start this love journey together. See you soon, my loves. Welcome to Sounds About Wife here in the Keptiverse. Hi, I'm Deanna, Kept Wife Strategist. Welcome back. So today's episode, I'm so excited about this. Why respect equals love? Listen, y'all gonna have to excuse my what do you call it? The fire detector. My husband will be home and he'll fix it, but it just started acting up. So excuse it. So yes, welcome. I'm so excited to dive into today's topic of respect as love. It's literally a crucial part in attracting and keeping a keeper. So we're going to unpack, right, how showing respect to a man is not just a nice thing to do. It's literally like a cornerstone to a successful and loving marriage. So it literally is that important. So we're going to start. Well, let me say hi. Those who are checking in the comments. Hey, good afternoon. Hey, Alice. Thank you for being here. So let's start with my treasure. For those who have been, following me on the channel for a while, you know that on Mondays I do my coaching gem. And that's the gems for you to put into your building, growing crown. Well, here on Sounds About Wife, it's all about treasure, right? Because where your treasure is, your heart is also. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about a personal story. And this is me bearing my heart, exposing myself. So you know that anytime I'm giving out tough love and I'm giving out feedback and I'm telling you what to do, what not to do, it is because I'm speaking from experience. I'm never speaking from a place of judgment. I have been where you are. It may be something that I continue to work on and I'm sharing. So in regards to respect, as my husband and I were getting to know each other, we were just talking and sharing like what our values were. And, my husband has a military background. He is big on order, respect, and more so than I even had an understanding of. Right? I'm thinking respect. Okay. You don't curse at each other. You don't talk over each other. You carry yourself in a respectful manner. I'm thinking the basic things, right? But even in the way I communicated, my husband and I, as we're like learning each other, and we had a couple of disagreements where we were just not seeing eye to eye. And I am very expressive. You see, I talk with my hands. I get to going. I get on some tangents. And I literally will raise my voice. I will get overly energetic, all of that. And can you imagine what I would sound like when I feel I'm wronged, disrespected, misunderstood, right? And all of the energy and emotions are flowing. So we had an instance where we were disagreeing and I raised my voice. And my husband is very composed. He has high emotional IQ. He's very like even mannered, even toned. Um, he uses his words very well. So you will know his displeasure, his facial expressions and the words that he's choosing to use. But I've very rarely seen him raise his voice or anything like that. And, I come from a family of yellers, like arguers, right? So some of that was kind of built in. And he very lovingly said to me, like, that's not acceptable. That is not acceptable. And when he first said it, I'm just like, yeah, okay, it's not acceptable. Like, no one wants to be yelled at or anything like that. Then it happened again, and he told me that it was disrespectful. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm not disrespectful. Like, I'm not disrespectful. What are you talking about? It's not disrespect. I'm just communicating. I'm just passionate, like, justifying my behavior. And when he really broke it down, he's like, no, if you can't, remain composed, if you can't communicate effectively and you feel like you have to, talk over me or elevate your voice, that's yelling and that's disrespectful. That's how I see it. So when you do it, I'm going to see it as disrespect. That changed everything for me. Changed everything because I'm like, wait a minute, I have the utmost respect for you. I hold you in the highest regard. I never want to do anything that would even give the semblance, like the resemblance of disrespect. So that's when I made the decision. Okay, I'm going to go about respect in the way that he sees it because it doesn't matter what I think about it. He needs to feel respected. So I need to be mindful of how he sees respect. And that's what sparked our conversation today. So before we get into the full lesson, I just want to send a shout out to our keeper sponsor of this episode, which is from the CFO of Love Coverage. So Love Coverage is a full service coaching company owned and operated by the Washingtons. Together, they have 30 years of combined marital and coaching experience. So for premarital preparation and marital maintenance, make sure your most important investment is protected with Love Coverage. You can text 214-434-7897 to set up a relationship diagnostic checkup. So shout out to Love Coverage for sponsoring this episode of Sounds About Wife. Now for today's treasure, that is the core lesson and why this even matters, right? So that's today's treasure. So the core lesson is that for men, respect is not just a nice to have. It literally is like a love language for men. And I see comments coming in. Forgive me, guys. I don't have a mouse, so I may be a little discombobulated with switching from screen to screen. Glad to be here. Hey, Kimberly. Glad you're here as well. Hello, Mr. Washington. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode. Love you, honey. So, respect is the love language for many men, but especially for keepers, right? Think about it. For them, respect is intertwined with love. It equals love. Without it, without respect, they don't feel truly loved. And when you look at it through that lens, you understand the importance of respect to a man. Let me give you a scripture reference. So in Ephesians 5:33, however, let each one of you love his wife as himself, and let the wife see that she respects her husband. So this verse highlights the biblical foundation for respect in marriage. But I want you to notice, and if you've been following me for a while, you've probably heard me say this. The Bible doesn't tell us to love our husbands. It tells us to respect them. Why? Because respect is love to our husbands, right? So Ephesians 5:33, remember that. And let me give you a statistical reference, right? So according to research by the Pew Research Center, very reputable, 71% of married men said that being respected by their spouse is very important to their happiness and well-being. So again, this highlights the crucial role that respect plays in a marriage in regards to men. We often talk about, what women need and how we need to be heard and understood. It's equally important for us to understand what men need to feel valued in a marriage. We want men to show up, fully providing, fully protecting, fully being our covering. Well, it is important in order for them to be able to do that, they have to feel respected, right? And why does this matter, right? Well, keepers, who are usually like high earning, traditional men of God, they value respect as a fundamental expression of love. So with each act of respect, they are feeling more and more loved. And their ability to provide, the soft, kept life that we want to enjoy, it comes from this feeling of being respected and honored by their wives. So for those of you who are aspiring kept wives, you want to get in the practice of understanding how important respect is to keeper men. And let me give you a scripture for that. So Proverbs 31, we always like to talk about the Proverbs 31 woman, right? Verses 10 through 12. A wife of a noble character, who can find? She is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. So this scripture underscores the importance of being a wife who respects and brings good to her husband. It's all about your character, right? So let's look through the Kepti lens. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta get used to this. So let's look through the Kepti lens, right? And what is the Kepti lens? The Kepti lens is our mindset and perspective shift. So we're not commoners. We don't do what commoners do. We're in the Keptiverse, right? So we have a different lens. We have a different mindset and perspective. So I'm encouraging you to shift your mindset from viewing respect as just a formality, right? Just something to say, to seeing it as an essential expression of love and admiration. So if you want to show love, if you want your partner, your husband to feel loved, your biggest way of expressing that is through respect, right? And respect fosters an environment where a keeper can thrive and fully step into his role as provider, protector, and lover. And that's what we want. So we're creating the environment for him to lovingly do that because he feels respected. And when he feels respected, he feels love. Another scripture for that is 1 Peter 3, verses 1 through 2. Wives, in the same way, submit yourselves to your own husbands, so that if any of them do not believe the word, they may be won over without words by the behavior of their wives when they see the purity and reverence of your lives. So this scripture is showing how a respectful attitude can influence and positively impact your husband and the overall marriage. So now if you're taking any sort of notes, this is the part that I really want you to write some things down, right? I want you to consider, and this is the section of the show called the Kepti consideration. And here I'm going to give you a few prompts, like questions for you to reflect on and journal your thoughts, right? So, number one, this is more like a self assessment. How do you currently show respect to your partner or potential keeper? Or for my marrieds, your keeper husband. Number two, this is more like growth area. What areas do you think you could improve in demonstrating respect? Has he given you some feedback? Has he said something about ways you could be more respectful? Number three, this is kind of visioning. What would respect look like in your future marriage with a keeper? So for those who are on their Kepti journey, you want to think about, what does this look like? You want to get a clear picture of what it looks like. And I encourage you all, share your comments in the comment section, and I will read a few if you're thinking about it, or you already feel like you have a good handle on this. Now, finally, I'm going to give you a strategy, right? I'm the Kept Wife strategist. So here is your Kepti strategy. And this is literally practical tips for you to put the lesson to work in your life immediately. You do not have to wait to do this, right? So the first thing you want to think about, it looks safe and fun. Oh, I like that. That's definitely a perspective shift on respect. Usually when we think about respect, it's more like, structured and hard. I wouldn't think safe and fun. But here in the Keptiverse, that's our perspective shift, right? Love that. Thank you so much, Alice, for sharing that. And I see Kimberly, you said listening during discussion without jumping in early is a way I can better demonstrate respect. First of all, kudos to you for being accountable and being able to look at your own behavior and see where it is you could improve. That is awesome. We could all learn from that. Listening during discussion without jumping in early, right? That shows ultimate respect. I want to know what you have to say. I care about your thoughts and what you are trying to communicate to me. And I'm going to show respect by being quiet and listening to you. Love it. Love it. So here's your Kepti strategy, right? The first thing is speak with honor, right? Always speak to and about your keeper with honor, both in public and in private. Number two, appreciate his efforts. So regularly acknowledge and appreciate his efforts, right? To provide, to protect, ways that he helps you, ways that he inspires you, no matter how small they may seem. Appreciation goes a long way. It shows a lot of respect for what they're doing. Number three, practice active listening. Like Kimberly said, when he speaks, listen without interrupting. Show that you value his opinions and perspectives, right? What a better way to show respect than to be quiet and listen, right? So those are the three things. You want to speak with honor, you want to appreciate his efforts, and you want to practice active listening. Now, if you are a single Kepti right now, you can practice this with the men in your life, brothers, uncles, cousins, men that you come in contact with. Practice it so that it becomes a natural way of life for you. And it's not such a huge change when your keeper comes along, right? And, I like to have my statistics and my facts and figures. So a study published in the Journal of Marriage and Family found that couples who regularly show mutual respect have higher levels of marital satisfaction. So yes, we talked about this in terms mostly of like the men and how respect equals love to them. But it's been proven that when mutual respect is given in a marriage, that marriage is more successful. It's happier. There's more satisfaction. And that's exactly what we want to experience, right? So my honey said, Alice, safe and fun is a great place to be after getting through the day of experiencing the world. A safe place is so important. Thank you for bringing that up, honey. We're talking about keeper men, right? These are men that are upstanding. They are providers. They're going to work. They're running their businesses, right? So they're dealing with the day. They're dealing with the world all day. So they want to come home and be the king of that castle. They want it to be peaceful. They want you to be beautiful and they want you to be respectful. And they deserve that, right? Because in essence, that's just us loving on them. Thank you for saying that. Men need respect. Hi, Akila. I'm so glad you're here. Absolutely. That's what this entire lesson is about. It's not just a nice to have, a nice thing to do. Men actually need our respect. They need our respect. It's an incentive for them to keep showing up. So we want to give them what they need, right? Kimberly, yes, indeed. The law of attraction will bring the same back to you. Absolutely. And that's kind of what the Bible verse was saying too. Like, women, you win your husband over with your character. I have far greater success with my husband getting him to understand maybe grievances or things that we didn't agree on or things that are bothering me by me remaining feminine, sweet, soft, respectful to him. I'm not winning him over by being aggressive, by talking loud, by not being respectful in my tone. That never works. Never works. All right, baby. I hear you loud and clear. Loud and clear. And if you're following me on Facebook, I'm actually going to put up a little bit of well, it's not a challenge, but it's a little activity. I actually sent my husband a list of things that I could do to show him respect, and I asked him to put them in order of importance so that I could master respecting him in the way he wants to be respected. So I'm going to share that list on my Facebook page. Please make sure you're following me there. Yes, Alice says that is exactly what I want to provide so home can feel good. Yes, for my future keeper husband. Absolutely. That is what we want. So listen, now is the portion where we can have a little Kepti chat, right? So this is where you can share your concerns or you can type in any Q&A that you might have. Now would be the time during our Kepti chat. And while I give you guys time to kind of do that, please be mindful that I actually do have a Kepti chat on Instagram. So that's my private broadcast channel on Instagram. If you follow me there, Destination Deanna, you can join the Kepti chat. But let me go to the comments so I can make sure. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. I know you hear that thing and you're probably like, girl, why did you change it? It just started acting up before I went live. Yeah, that's next level. Absolutely. See, everything that I share, and this is why it pains me sometimes when women think I'm judging them when I call them out for things. Listen, boo, I can only call out what I was doing. The lessons I had to learn. I am a friend, not a foe. Okay, nothing I'm teaching or saying is to hurt. It is only to help. So yeah, check that out on my Facebook page. Yep, Kepti Alice. Okay. Yes, I do know you so well. I'm like, he's gonna hear that and be like, what is going on? But you'll be home to fix it. Right? Thank you, baby. I love you so much. Do you guys have any questions? Comments, concerns? Please ignore it. Please ignore it. Yes, indeed. Thank you, baby. I know you'll take care of it. All right. So listen, I'm hungry. I don't eat before I do this because I like to stay empty and I like to, be that empty vessel so God can really move and give me exactly what to say on here. But I'm hungry. I'm ready to go eat. So since I don't have any questions or concerns, oh wait, I see Akila. Hold on. So how do you find such respectable men? Ooh, good one. I feel like I keep running into the wrong kind of men. Well, respectable men are everywhere. I mean, I don't think they congregate in any particular place. You can find them anywhere. It really is more about you being a respectable woman that will emit the energy that attracts them. Right? So I would stop focusing on the men that you are noticing around you that are not respectable, right? Don't give that any attention. Don't talk about it. Don't post about it. Don't nothing about it because that's not what you want. You want respectable men. So look at respectable examples, right? Watch podcasts of respectable men. I recommend the Nice and Neat podcast. Respectable men, right? Don't give it any focus and pray about it and ask God to show you. Say, God, make it plain. Show me these respectable men. Okay? I hope that will help you get started, Akila. Thank you for asking the question. All right, Kimberly, it is really helpful to consider respect as a need and how to shift our mindset around it. Thanks for this. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. This was a huge lesson for me. I knew respect was important, but when I shifted from just thinking it's important and something nice to do and saying, no, my husband needs this. He needs this. And I do not want to not fulfill his needs. So I'm going to work on always being respectful and having respect be like a default built into how I approach him, how I respond to him, and everything. So yeah. Thanks, Will. I'm glad I'm on the right track. Yes, especially since I have my keeper husband in mind. Come on, that's how it starts. That's how it starts. I think Alice is gonna be our first wedding. I think it's gonna be Alice. I think she is. I just feel it. I feel it. Oh, you're welcome, Akila. Oh, honey has something to add. Let me go ahead. My 2 cents, Akila. Stop running into them. Go ahead, baby. Attract them. What you seek is seeking you when you align. So, Akila, I don't know if you have any groups that you're in or anything like that, but I would recommend that you hang out on my page. Get to get in community with some of the women there so you all can talk about respectable men, right? And you can align that energy there, right? Yes, Kimberly, yes. Okay, honey, you confirmed it. So Alice, wedding bells. Okay. We've already said it, right? We have already said it. Oh, did I do? Oh, hold on. Did I leave something out? Oh, yes. Okay. I will be back most definitely. And I follow you on Threads too. Great. So you know what? I'm gonna put some other like tips for respect in there too. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're here. So, all right, I'm not going to be before you long. My goal is to like get in, get out, give you the goods, let you be able to like focus on the lesson and really put it to practice. So as we do our little Kepti closing, right? Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Please come back every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. It sounds about wife, and literally everything we're talking about here, it's wife. It's giving wife. We're not talking about singles. We're not talking about none of that. Everything is about wife. So remember, kept wives are prepared women, and prepared women have strategy. If you want the winning strategy, you come to the Kept Wife Strategist. Okay? So I love you all. See you next week.